Hello, Bing Bongers. Just a note before this month's episode. We were having some slight audio difficulties. So some of the recording may not be up to our usual crisp and pristine standards. But we figured out what was causing it, so it should be all good next month. We hope it does not detract from the listening experience. Love from Amelia, the editor of the podcast. Hello and welcome to Cinema Bing Bong, the only podcast where our heights are wuthered, our awakenings are sexual, and our incestuous feelings for our adopted sibling consummated through the marriage of our children who are cousins. I am your host, Amelia, and I'm joined today by Rebecca. I'm joined every time by Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca, what's up?
Do they have children? That doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen in the movie.
Ah. Okay, well, I suppose we'll get into it.
In the movie, they just consummate their sexual feelings by having sex.
Yeah.
But we're Wuthering... What I meant to say with that intro is that we're Wuthering Heights truthers.
Where?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, we're entirely based on the book.
Well, we know the real, everything.
I don't!
No, you don't have to have actually read it. Just go on.
Okay.
Act like a Twitter poster.
I can't. Yeah, I've never... Are we going to do more of an introduction?
So today we're talking about maybe fewer films than normal because Rebecca has a job and I've had various things going on in my life. Which, that makes it sound like I had to go and get a haircut or something. No, it was like serious, like some serious stuff. So we didn't get to watch as many movies as we wanted.
You could just say that you were very busy.
That's bullshit. I was very busy. I mean, I was.
You were. It's not bullshit at all.
Yeah,
That's what happened. You were really busy.
Yeah, but I want people to understand the gravitas of the situation. I wasn't busy like I had to do 3 crosswords or something.
I don't think anyone's ever heard that someone has been really busy in the last month and assumed that they had to do 3 crosswords. I think that you've taken a low view of yourself and the listeners' opinions.
Okay, all right, yeah, sure, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I think that people respect you and they're like, Amelia's busy. She must be talking to Hollywood. She must be DJing boat parties.
Okay, yeah, sure.
She'll be, she's got her investment properties. She's skiing.
I'm skiing, okay. But we did manage to see Blue Moon, which we'll talk about a little bit later. I saw The Secret Agent, which I will talk about, but I don't want to spoil too much of that for Rebecca. We're going to talk a little bit about the BAFTAs, who were the big winners of the night. We've got a game. There's loads of stuff happening. in the world of movies.
And Wuthering Heights.
But first...
Oh, okay, sorry.
Wuthering Heights, Heathcliff.
What should you do, Heathcliff? If you were rich?
Suppose I'd do what all rich men do. Live in a big house. And be cruel to my servants. Take a wife.
A wife? What wife?
Heathcliff. You're not enough. Not for her.
It's me. Hey, Rebecca.
Yes.
You know the Kate Bush song "Wuthering Heights."
That she wrote when she was 19 years old.
Yeah, having only seen, I think, the TV adaptation and not having read the book. Did you know that there's like a Top of the Pops sound-alike version of that with a woman trying really hard to put on a Kate Bush voice, and it's
No.
she sounds like a kind of a cartoon witch. It's really good.
How could you leave me when I needed to possess you? I hated you, I loved you too. Bad dreams and
I know that once
I'll cut some
in
into
the
the
olden-
episode.
in the olden days, me and Amelia had a competition to make the best cover of Wuthering Heights.
I think mine was all right. It had a lot of
Yeah, your one was better, but your one was really your one was like a sound-alike of Vienna Calling by Falco.
Yes, I was about to say it had a lot of like Yamaha keyboard, with me trying to make the Yamaha keyboard sound like
And it had like
80s
it had
studio
the sounds of
synthesizer.
you. It had the sounds of you like on an old phone, being like, "Hello, hello."
I wish I still had that.
Yeah, I wish I still had a lot of stuff from that era. We didn't have the cloud in those days.
No. All right. Wuthering Heights. This is Emerald Fennel, enemy of the pod. Emerald Fennel's latest directorial piece, and it is an adaptation of the novel Wuthering Heights, written by. Oh my god! I always forget which of the which sister it's written by. Do you know?
Emily.
Emily. Yes, there you go.
That's right.
Emily Bronte. But it's kind of, I think it's also in part like in reference to previous adaptations, because basically they all only adapt the first half of the novel.
Yes, apparently. As I've said already, I have not read the novel, which I think is a better way to watch this movie.
I would say it almost certainly is. So the story is about some people who live up north. There's Kathy and her
Not
dad.
up north in New Zealand.
No, they live in the Kaipara.
The Kaipara.
They got a lifestyle property called Wuthering Heights.
They live in Dargaville.
Oh, my name's Kathy. I'm from Russell.
Russell. It's posh.
No, not when it's set. When it's set, it's like the hellhole of the
Oh,
Southwest.
yeah, it's not, yeah, it's not posh.
Anyway, sorry. The story is about Kathy, Catherine Earnshaw, who lives with her dad, just called Earnshaw. He's played by Martin Clunes. Kathy is played by Margot Robbie. Dad Earnshaw kind of like is a drunk and a gambler, and he's on a spree, and he adopts this kind of like random child who grows up with Kathy, and they're kind of like besties, but is it more than besties? But he's a servant. And the movie doesn't really make a lot of the fact that they are like siblings, essentially, like adopted siblings. Then we like cut forward to them being grown up, and Kathy is getting married to like a posh guy, and Heathcliff gets sad and runs away, and then comes back having mysteriously made a fortune. And then that's the kind of the drama of the movie happens from there. If there is any drama in this movie, it was hard for me to tell. Rebecca, do you think that's a fair summary of the movie?
It's pretty fair. I was going to include that the catalyst for him running away is that he sees her wanking over over a servant and a stable boy putting harnesses on each other in a barn. And so she's really humiliated that Heathcliff has seen her with her hands in her pants on the moors. And so she dashes off 10 miles to where this posh guy lives, and she's like spying on him and his... I don't know who was that person?
Who was what person?
Isabella.
That's
Who
his
was
ward.
she?
She's his ward.
What does that mean in this context?
I mean, it's not really clear in the in the movie.
Yeah, he just
I
like
guess
he's
maybe
a
like
guy,
a cousin or something.
He's a guy who is like he's very posh and he's having a wonderful time in the garden with his ward, and then they see Kathy spying on them, and then they invite her in, and she like enjoys the splendors of being rich, and then Heathcliff runs away, right?
Yes, I think you missed an important part, which is that after he catches her wanking, he's like, "Let me sniff your finger," and then he sucks her finger. Or did you forget that bit?
I forgot that bit. Maybe I blocked it out. I was very overwhelmed that was happening because the first like 90 minutes of the movie, like nothing happens.
No, and then there's a sexual awakening. I feel like we should say at this point, this movie is like astoundingly bad.
Yeah.
It was bad in ways that I wasn't expecting. Because, I am an Emerald Fennell hater, and I am on record...
You've been hating since Promising Young Woman.
Yeah, I'm on record
right?
with Promising Young Woman being a deeply evil film, I think.
Did you watch Saltburn?
Yeah, I thought Saltburn was fine. I thought it was...
Saltburn is fine compared to this.
I thought Saltburn was fine. It was a tiny bit... I don't think it maybe qualified as evil, but I thought it was a little bit sketched. Had a bit of a sketchy vibe. But some of it was fun, which is nice. None of this movie was really fun. It was very boring.
No, and I think that was the thing, is that, you know, everything that you would read about this film is like, oh, it's just sexy romp. It doesn't follow the story. It's very racist. The second half of the book is not in there. She didn't understand the text. It's just her like projections of what she thinks the text is and stuff. But when you're actually watching it, you're like, oh, it's just nothing's happening.
No, nothing's really happening, and it's interesting because
It's not, yeah.
because there's a lot of like verve and panache in the visuals that doesn't deliver anything to the movie. It reminded me of like, you know, like peak swinging 60s movies where you see stills and you're like, whoa, the like set design is so crazy and all the costumes are so cool. And then you watch the movie and you're like, oh my God, this is like a chore to get through.
Yeah, like, oh, it looked fun in like 2 screenshots on Tumblr, but actually,
Yeah,
this sucks.
This is that exact movie. Like, maybe if you saw a still of the fireplace that had molded plaster hands erupting from the top, like billowing smoke, you'd be like, oh, sick. But in the movie where it's only a thing that they have boring conversations next to, you're like, why does this boring guy own this at all?
Yeah, there's a
Why
lot of
is
set
this in the
pieces and
movie?
costuming that it just doesn't work within the context of the film. Like, especially when Kathy moves to, like, what's the guy called?
Edgar Linton.
Yes. When she moves into his house, they're like, we've got you this room that we've like put your skin on the walls.
Yeah, the floor and the ceiling are all done in like massively enlarged silk prints of her skin with freckles and veins.
Yeah, and then that just like it doesn't fit, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean it feels like it could be a cool idea, but it's not. There's like one bit where she kind of like touches her freckle and then like looks at the wall. And other than that, you're like, the rest of the movie, you're just like, oh, why is her room like beige?
Yeah, it's just like there's a lot of things in the movie like that though.
Yeah, I had seen screenshots of her gown that she wears on her like honeymoon night, which is like this kind of like incredible like diaphanous see-through like peach but also green kind of like weird like punky 80s thing. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I wonder how that's going to be used in the movie. And she's just wearing it for like 45 seconds.
Yeah, and there's a lot she often wears these like out, and when she becomes rich, she wears these sort of cellophane,
Yeah.
like iridescent Barbie, like 80s Barbie kind of outfits. They're just like, they don't make any sense, they're not explained, and it just doesn't like work for the story at all.
Well, they're not.
And I think
none of that stuff is like done enough to become like thematic or like a motif. It's just kind of like, oh, now sometimes she's doing this.
it's like when it's the sort of a feeling of when you didn't really understand like how casual an event was going to be. You like wear the wrong clothes. It's like that. You know, like you're at a wedding and everyone's sort of wearing just like a top and a skirt from Glassons or whatever, and you're like, oh, I thought this was formal.
I think that one of the interesting things for me about this movie, like for me, on a personal note, is that usually when I really don't like a movie, it's because I'm like mad about it for some reason. I'm sure the listeners of the pod have experienced this. This was just like not good. It just didn't really.
It was just nothing, and I think that's one of the things that I was most surprised about, is that I thought it would be annoying. Like, I thought there would be like parts of the dialogue or the acting or the like choices or whatever, the story especially, that would be really like grating. But when you're actually watching it, you're like, oh, this is like a barren film. There's only like there's like 4 people in it, and they just talk to each other.
Yeah.
In these giant rooms. It's like, it's nothing. It's not colourful or anything. The only like sort of crowd scene is like at the beginning.
Yeah.
Where like, what happens like a guy gets hanged?
Yeah, the film opens with a guy being hanged. So there's like a fake out where instead of the like the idents for the production studios, it just has like a and some like squeaking. And I think you're meant to think that it's like some people having sex, but it's actually a guy struggling as he is hanged to death. But he's got a boner.
Yeah, and then everybody in the town is like, oh, look, Mrs. He's got a boner, he has. Yeah. And then everyone's like, Mommy, when can I have a boner? And then like everyone's like screaming and like cheering and stuff. And there's people like, there's like a group of nuns like doing crafts in front of the hanging and all this sort of stuff, and you expect that the rest of the film is going to be like that, and then you just never see a group of people for the whole rest of the film. The whole rest of the film is just like one person in a room, like moping around.
Yeah, but also it's like, you know, people who talk about how like the first scene in a movie like tells you how to watch the movie. This scene in the movie like doesn't like come up again. It's weird because it cuts to Kathy being like, "Oh my god, this fucking rules." And so you think that is going to be like an aspect of her character or her personality. And in the sorry to do it in the book, but in the book, Kathy's like psycho. like Kathy and Heathcliff are like terrors and very scary, weird people. And so you're like, oh yeah, she's like getting off on the hanging. That's so Kathy. Except she's not like that in the movie. Apart from like a couple of scenes where she becomes really evil for no reason and then becomes normal again.
She just becomes sort of like bossy.
She's like kind of a bitch to her ward-in-law.
And Heathcliff is like, gets into some sort of weird puppy play stuff. Yeah, and later on.
The only time that that hanging comes back or death.
Yeah.
When death comes back, she's very glib about it, and it's kind of whatever. And then when the hanging gets brought up, she's like, oh no, Isabella, I don't think you'd like that. And then she kind of thinks maybe Heathcliff might get hanged, and she's very sad. Where she should be horned up. She should be like, oh, Heathcliff getting hanged. He'd have a mean stiffy, I bet.
The scene where the hanging comes back, it's like, is played for like shock value, right? Like the scene is that Kathy, Linton, and Isabella are eating breakfast, and Isabella is kind of like, "Oh, Kathy, I think you'd be most excited to know that there's going to be a hanging. Oh, can we go?" and stuff, and then she like reveals that it's going to be a woman, which has like nothing to do with anything.
No,
it doesn't come back up. They don't go to the hanging. It doesn't come back up. Also,
like,
we don't find out who it was.
I wonder if they'll hang her in her skirts. Yeah, I'm sure they will. Like, what else would
What
they
else
do?
were they going to hang her in?
It's
just nothing. What was the point of that?
It's great. Oh my god, this movie it's just really like, it's just not really well thought through. I think the characters are really like shallow and inconsistent as well. Like, I think Isabella is probably the worst for this, because when she's introduced, she's like the nerdy prim girl with ribbons in her hair who's obsessed with ribbons, and she's being very boring and explaining the plot of Romeo and Juliet at length to her brother. And then like suddenly she is
the ward master.
Sorry, yeah. In the book they are siblings, so
Okay.
and then like suddenly she really wants to go to a hanging, which doesn't seem kind of in line with her character. And then she's like, I made a scrapbook, and everything in the scrapbook is like dicks and fannies. Except she seemingly doesn't realize that, even though she's like, in other scenes she's a secret pervert, but in this scene she's so naive that she's
like
very,
very naive, and then the next scene she's like, I want to be fucked.
It's really weird. It's like there's no kind of like, it's not like a progression or a revelation. It's just like, oh, for this scene I need her to be totally depraved.
Yeah. And there's no progression.
And in this scene I need her to be really annoying. So she's just going to be annoying. It's just, yeah. And I felt bad, especially because I feel like the actors for Edgar and Isabella were really good.
Yeah, like
Shazad Latif and Alison Oliver.
From the Conversation with Friends miniseries, or short form drama content, whatever it's supposed to be called.
And you'll
series.
You'll know Shazad Latif as Clem Fandango from Toast of London.
I'm sure everybody does.
I think a lot of people will. I actually think he's a really good actor, and I was excited because I was like, well, if he's Edgar Linton, he must have a lot to do in this movie. No. He has like 5 lines. It's really weird.
I think that Jacob Elordi was fine in the film.
I think Jacob Elordi was fine in the film.
But Margot?
Yeah, Rebecca, what do you think about Margot Robbie in the film?
It was just weird. It was weird, right?
I would describe it as an embarrassing miscast. Like,
she's very clearly 35 years old.
Yeah,
throughout the whole film.
Yeah, she is our age, which is fine to be a sexy woman our age in a movie. Look, I'm into it. I love it.
But not playing like a 15-year-old or whatever.
Yeah, and I think, because when I was going into it, people were like, oh, it's played by Margot Robbie, why would they cast her as a 17-year-old? And I'm like, well, I'm sure they haven't made her 17 in the movie. And nobody says like, but Kathy, you're 17 years old. However, she does have like her first sexual experience, which you shouldn't be doing at 35. I mean, like, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all, you know. And I don't mean her first sexual experience with another person. I mean, like, her first, like, realization that she feels sexual feelings. Like,
when she's 35. I think some of the stuff about, like, fertility and stuff made sense that she was 35, but, like...
Oh, when they were like, oh, you haven't had a baby yet. Oh, good work, you had a baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just very... Yeah, it's just really odd. It just kind of doesn't make sense for the things that happen in the movie that she would be like in her mid-30s, and kind of like opens up this massive question of like, what the fuck was she doing for the rest of her life? Mm-hmm. Because we get...
I think the passing of time is like very confusing in the film. Like, because they're just like, and now it's been another year, and now it's been another year, and now it's been 5 years, and everything's like the same.
Yes. But yeah, I think actually the whole cast is older than they should be. Because like Isabella is like in her late 20s, and it is so weird to have these scenes with like Kathy bullying Isabella about having like a crush on Heathcliff and being like really cruel to her with these like two adult women. It's just very odd, I think.
Yeah, and it's not the kind of aging up because of the material being like too dark for young people or whatever.
Yeah, it's aging up for no reason.
It's not the kind of aging up where like the characters are 16 but the people who are playing them are actually 20 or whatever.
You know, they're all like in their 30s basically.
Yeah.
And
they're like, "Do you know what a fanny is?"
Yeah.
And then they're like, "I'm a dog. I'm eating shit off the floor. I'm getting off on it so hard."
There is a scene where someone is a dog and they're eating shit off the floor and they're getting off on it so hard. One thing that was really striking to me about this movie is how much of it was shot and performed as if it was like a kind of a broad comedy.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get my head around that for a lot of the movie. Well, there would just be like, you know, lines that were read as if they were jokes, and the characters would then like smirk, and you're like, this isn't really funny. Like, this movie is about you getting abused by your dad. Like,
yeah, all these jokes. There's like a lot of stuff that's like, "Lift your skirt, missus, and I'll show you more."
Yeah, I think probably the easiest one to like just describe in terms of like the visual elements of the film is that when Kathy and Heathcliff's dad dies, he's like laid on the ground, kind of like arms out, like legs splayed on this like in this dirty room, and there's this kind of like weird overhead, like fucking Terry Gilliam ass shot of the corners of the room filled with these like novelty large green glass bottles piled up to the ceiling. Like, oh yeah, he died of drink. Look at him with this. Like,
yeah,
it's like a cutaway
it's
gag
sort of
that you would have in
Pixar.
Yeah, it's
alcoholism.
like it's like too big for IT crowd. Like, it's like,
yeah,
it's like something you would maybe, yeah, like even I think like, yeah, like Father Ted or something like that would not be like, yeah, we'll put that many we'll put that many bottles
no, it's more
in
like
there.
Blackadder or something.
Yeah, or like a Far Side comic or something. It was so weird and tonally odd because like Kathy comes in like crying, like, "Oh my god, is it true? Is he dead?" And then it's like, "Why?"
And then she kicks him.
Yeah, and then she kicks him. And you're like, what am I meant
his dead body?
What am I meant to feel?
Like, oh, I feel bad that I kicked my dead dad's body.
Yeah, it's like...
And Heathcliff's like, that's all right.
What am I meant to think? What am I meant to feel here? Like, oh. Also, sorry, Charlie XX, but I think the music was bad.
Oh, the music was bad too.
It was, yeah.
It was like sort of the opposite of the Mighty Supreme music.
Yes, it was the opposite of the Mighty Supreme. I was thinking that in the movie as well.
Yeah, you're like, in Mighty Supreme they used music that was like tonally different than what we've been shown, or like from different eras and stuff, and it like really worked because it showed the emotion of the characters. It told us what the tone was, and then here it's like, it's just two people talking in an empty room. One of them's wrapped in cellophane, and then here's Charlie XCX.
Yeah, and it's weird because the songs have words, but they weren't really describing things that happened in the movie.
Nah, I didn't. Yeah, I don't particularly remember any of the lyrics or anything.
They would be like, "Love is a prison. I'm gonna die," and you're like, okay, but is that what's happening right now? Like, and in between the Charlie XCX songs, Stan Charlie, by the way, I just wanted
Oh,
to.
not me.
I just wanted to get. I do. I'm like a big Charlie XCX fan. I got the vinyls and shit. But
She's always getting cancelled.
I just thought the music, it just didn't work in this movie. And between the songs, it was like the most like shit string quartet music. They were just playing like block chords. It was really weird. Like there was only like one bit at the end when they started playing like a composition and not just like
Okay, I've got the lyrics.
Okay.
Ever since I can remember, I've felt it in my bones. A tragic destiny was reserved for me all on my own. But oh, I didn't know why. Oh no, I didn't know. But then I saw your face and I realized I was dying for you. 'Cause you're a gun to my head and you're a wound in my chest. Yeah, you're my favorite jewelry worn just like a noose round my neck. I'm losing gallons of blood, the river's turning to red. I got a smile on my face. I bleed even more. All the pain and torture that I went through all makes sense to me now. I was dying for you.
Okay, well, this does literally describe what is happening in the movie. I was thinking there's one bit definitely where it's something weird. But there's also there's a folk song in the movie, and I thought that was made much more sense, even though it's really weird because all the other movie is like, oh really?
No.
It's like oh god, it's one of the ones about a sailor, dark-eyed sailor.
Like just as incidental music, or
They play it like 3 times.
but I mean it's not diegetic.
No, it's not diegetic.
Ah, okay, yeah,
but
I
like,
know.
but it's got like vocals and stuff. You
Yeah.
know? It's like, as I went out and saw a thing, your dark-eyed sailor. Type
I
shit.
vaguely remember.
Type shit. But yeah, what a fucking movie. Not to like reveal illegal activities on the pod, but I was like, maybe I shouldn't go see this at the movies, and so I like tried to watch like a cam rip of it. And when I was watching the cam rip, I was like, the framing of all these shots is so weird. This must be like a fucked up bad cam rip.
Yeah.
And then when I got to the movie, I was like, oh no, it is, everything's just like in extreme close up all the time.
And it feels really low budget.
Oh, really? Did you think so?
Yeah, I think because of the lack of actors.
Yeah, okay.
Like, it feels like they spent the whole budget on set design.
Yeah, I mean, it's like unusual in terms of like a period drama that they didn't have, no one had like, there were 3 servants in the whole film. Mm-hmm. And none of them belonged none of them belonged to the Lintons. Oh no, there's one scene where they have a servant and it does a close up of her face and she's never seen again.
But there's the other woman.
Nellie.
Yeah.
She's the baddie of the film.
But it also doesn't really work.
Yeah, well, she's jealous of Kathy for being in almost the exact same situation she is.
Yeah. Basically, the only baddie in that she does is that she doesn't give Kathy Heathcliff's letters, right? That's it.
Yeah, and she arguably causes her to die at the end.
Yeah, she arguably causes her to die, but I mean, like, the emphasis is on the letters, that she, like, every time a letter comes for Kathy, she, like, chucks it in the fire.
And also, there's a bit where she knows that Heathcliff is eavesdropping, and so she's like, I can't believe that you hate Heathcliff and you love Edgar. Okay, I think I just feel like there's so many like stupid things in this movie. Like there are so many montages and they're all cut. They're all cut like supercuts on YouTube. They're not cut like actual montages.
Yeah, they're cut like fan cams.
Yeah, because they all because unlike a montage where you're using you can shoot whatever you want, and so you shoot a series of images which construct a story of what's happening. These feel like they're just, oh, this person is wearing a cool costume in this scene, but otherwise nothing is happening.
Yeah, it's not even like, it's like a step under music video.
Yeah, it's really
It's
weird.
like, this is all I can find that doesn't have a huge watermark on it.
Yeah, it was like, oh, I really wanted to get a shot of her wearing her little red sunglasses, but the only medium shot, she was just sitting in a chair. Like, so that's what we've put in the montage. Like,
I leave a photo of a magazine.
do you want to talk about any of the book-based controversies?
Well, it's hard for me because I haven't read the book.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm interested. I'm interested in as to like how you understand them not having read the book.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously there was a lot of stuff about Heathcliff being played by a white Australian.
Yes.
And then there was a lot of fighting about what ethnicity Heathcliff was in the original book, how people understood ethnicity at that time. Did I feel like it mattered? No. I feel like it got to the point where it was like people thought that it was like especially racist that Nellie and Linton had been cast as Asian people and not Heathcliff and Kathy.
I mean, it is funny that that like the baddies in the film are not white.
Yeah, but it's like, is Linton a baddie?
Yeah, I mean that's the question.
He's kind of a neutral character.
He's so underwritten that he doesn't get to be a baddie.
Yeah, but it was like, oh yeah, it was just one of those things where it was like, I don't know if I can really say that I find this racist when there's so much other stuff going on that's bad.
Yeah, true.
I don't know what Emily Bronte was thinking with the ethnicity of Heathcliff.
What were you thinking, Emily?
I don't know because like, obviously I haven't read the book, but I'm like, yeah, people did think dark meant someone with brown hair.
Yeah,
until recently. It's one of those things where you feel like you're actively from a different time.
Yeah.
When everyone who's like fighting about stuff online is clearly like 20 years old.
Yeah, I think, I mean, he's definitely, I think he's definitely more, I think some people were kind of downplaying, how racialized he is in the book. Mm-hmm. You know, there were some people.
I didn't feel like any of these people had read the book.
No, but there are some people who were like, yeah, well, you know, people in the 19th century thought blah blah blah, which is true. But also, he gets described as like a gypsy and a lascar, which is I had to look up what that was, which is like an Indian or a South Asian sailor and like dark skinned and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think how important that is to the. Like, whether that's just a kind of like an exotic otherness element or if it's important to the plot kind of depends on your reading of his relationship with Earnshaw. And not to get too like a podcast about books, but
we hate books on the pod.
My reading of Wuthering Heights is that he is like likely to be the illegitimate son of Earnshaw. I think that makes the most sense. That's like a controversial take. But I think if you read it like that, then his race is really important to the story because it's basically a big part of the reason why he can't be, why he has to be disinherited. Like,
yeah, because in the as the film stands, it's like, why did he fuck off just because he was sad?
Yeah, I think by
and then he came back and was like, hey, I've got a new jacket from Zara.
I think by basically like deleting half the characters who are like
Deleting.
in direct relation to Kathy and Heathcliff, it makes the whole situation makes a lot less sense.
Yeah, I think that I know, as I've said, not knowing the book, but if it were a story about the sort of illegitimate child or child who was like othered
maybe.
somehow,
Yeah.
who cannot find a sort of success or security in the world that he lives in, and then he goes away, and there he finds this prosperity, and he brings that back. That makes sense.
Yeah.
If the story is just about like just a regular guy who was for whatever reason adopted, whose sister is gonna get married to someone else and he gets really upset, that's nothing. That's not a story.
Yeah, but so
I mean, that's not a story worth paying attention to.
yeah, the movie is basically just like, what if two people were in love, which is not enough to hang a movie on. And I think that it's a shame because I feel like the family dynamics from the book, and when I say like it's a shame, the movie is bad anyway, regardless of its relationship to the book. But it is interesting.
Because
But like,
I mean, it got to a point in the film that I was like, if Heathcliff in this film were cast as an actor of a different ethnicity, it would be even more offensive.
yeah. And it would just kind of
It wouldn't add anything. It would make it worse.
yeah, because to give kind of like a brief summary of like the family relationships in the book, like the dad is really nice in the book, and the shed, the bullying shed, is Kathy's older brother. So the dad
Deleted.
so the dad brings home Heathcliff and is like, check it out. I found this boy when I was away for a long time on my business trip. And he's my son now.
Right. Okay.
And then he's like, and also he's my favorite. Sorry, guys. And so the older brother like hates and
This
resents
makes a lot more sense.
Heathcliff and like is like, I hate you, Heathcliff, fuck you, and like beats him up all the time. And Kathy's like, but I like you, Heathcliff. I think you're awesome. And then when the dad dies, the older brother inherits everything and is like, I'm going to fucking ruin your life, Heathcliff. Fuck you.
But in the movie, the Heathcliff was just outside, and then he's at the pub or something, and then Earnshaw was like, all right, come with me, matey. And then the servants are like, no, we don't have any money. And the whole thing is like, they don't have any money.
Yeah, it's very...
And then Kathy's like, I like you, Heathcliff. And then Earnshaw's like, well, I don't like either of you. I'm going to beat you up all the time.
It's very... Yeah,
It's
really,
sort of like a little princess type thing.
Yeah, it's like... it's very like Cinderella. It's just very like... obviously you need to make changes for the book. From the book for the movie. But I just feel like they were like, what if it wasn't interesting? Like, what if the relationships were really flat and dull? Like, what if there was no dynamism to the characters and no one grew?
And this is not something that I interpret as being the fault of the actors.
No, I think the actors did a fine job, even though I feel like they were all kind of weirdly cast, apart from maybe Heathcliff and Linton. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wuthering Heights.
That's it. That's it.
Well, final note. Yeah, the book is so much more incesty, and there's a ghost. And I think this movie could have been saved if the only thing they changed was making it more incesty and adding a ghost.
I didn't know she was going to die.
But she's a ghost. Famously, she's a ghost.
I didn't know.
Oh, really?
Me.
That's why she's tapping at the window in the Kate Bush song.
I thought she was just outside.
Nah, she's a ghost.
Yeah, now I see.
Yeah. She's like, woo. That's why Kate Bush is doing the dance like that.
I thought she was just weird.
No, well, yeah, both. A little column A.
I'm only saying no one told me because I hate it when people say that. Because most time people say no one told me. You're like, well, no one told anyone anything. You just have to find out.
Very seldom do people get told things. It's a real shame. Okay, all right. Wuthering Heights finished. Done. Kind of astonishingly dull movie.
Yeah.
Time for Blue Moon.
We write together for a quarter of a century. And the first show he writes with someone else is going to be the biggest hit he ever had. Am I bitter?
Larry.
Yes.
For over 20 years, Hart and his partner Richard Rodgers created a string of hits,
I want 10 copies of that.
Write me a check.
such as My Funny Valentine, The Lady is a Tramp, and Blue Moon.
Your work is brilliant. That's not the problem.
No, I'm not drinking with you, Larry. They should put my picture on that bottle. The whiskey that made Loren's heart unemployable.
So Blue Moon is the latest.
Amelia did a gesture like she was playing a clip from it, and there was just nothing. But I assume in the recording there's going to be something.
Yeah, sorry. I was imagining the clip. So this is this is the latest Linklater joint. The famously eclectic Linklater.
Name some films.
School of Rock, A Scanner Darkly, Boyhood, Dazed and Confused, the before, like before sunrise, before sunset, Slacker. How are those? How are those treating you?
Yeah, that's good.
And it is weirdly eclectic, isn't it?
I mean, out of those, I've seen School of Rock, Dazed and Confused, and Boyhood.
Well, there you go.
There we go.
So it stars Linklater's muse, Ethan Hawke, as the famous Tin Pan Alley lyricist, Loren's Hart. And it's basically all shot in one bar on the opening night of Oklahoma, which is a musical written by Hart's erstwhile songwriting partner, Rodgers, but in a new duo now with Hammerstein.
Rodgers and Hammerstein obviously much more famous than Rodgers and Hart.
Okay, that's good to know because not to me.
But I mean, to a normal person.
Yeah, to a normal person.
Because, hang on, let's look into it. Okay, so Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals. Oklahoma. Carousel, Allegro, South Pacific, Pipe Dream, Cinderella, The Sound of Music, probably the most famous, I would say.
Okay, maybe they're more famous because
State
they
Fair.
did the bloody Sound of Music. It's really good. We all love it. But did they write?
But I mean, like, that's the premise of the film, though, is that his longtime collaborator has essentially dumped him.
Yes, because he's an alcoholic.
And he's about to become really, really famous, but he hasn't become really, really famous yet.
No. He is already really famous in the film.
But I mean, he's about to. He's, like, catapulting.
He's kind of about to go from, like... He's about to go from being, like, Lorde to being Taylor Swift, I guess.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. But
because they'd already done My Funny Valentine and, like...
But the film
Blue
sort of
Moon.
portrays this as not being that much of a big deal.
Yeah. Is there... What... Do you want to describe the various, like, plot lines of the film? He talks
sure.
to E.B. White.
So, yeah, the plot of the film is that... Okay, is his name Hart or just Hart?
Hart.
Okay,
But his first name is Lorenz, so...
Yeah, that's where the Z comes from. Okay, so Hart, it starts off actually showing Hart dying
Yes.
at the side of the road. And then it's like 6 months earlier and it shows him like watching the opening night of Oklahoma.
With his mum.
I was like, wait, so with his mom. And then it goes to him in the bar, and then the whole rest of the film is like in the bar, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't believe like how terrible it was, this like schlocky musical about this like stupid
It's all about corn.
cowboy people.
It's as
Which I
high
think
as an
is, like-
elephant's eye. Bullshit.
Yeah, he's hating it, but he's obviously really jealous as well. But I think, like, okay, so this is a distraction, but I think it's really interesting to note that a musical like Oklahoma is not even written by some downcountry, good-hearted people.
No.
It's by this New York guy. I'm just thinking about in the context of people always being like, oh, they're like New Zealand books are just about people who went to university.
No.
Why can't they be about a guy like who was a farmer? Why? Because they think that we need farmers to be like writing these books because they're like real people. But it's like that's never happened.
No.
In the history of the world, that has never happened.
So much of the like mythology of like American life from like the suburbs to the countryside is written by like New York Jewish guys. I'm gonna write White Christmas. Like
And then so he's like in a bar spitting tacks, and he's also in love with this 20-year-old Yale student played by Margaret Qualley
yes.
for some reason, because she is also 30 years old.
Yeah, a real theme of today's podcast.
But he's talking about that to the
Okay,
bartender.
sorry. Side note,
Yeah.
is this just because we're in our 30s that we're like, that person's my age, why are they doing this?
No, I don't think so, because I think that young people feel worse about it.
Okay, cool.
They're like, she's a fugly old bitch.
Oh my god. Okay.
They are.
Yeah, probably.
They're like, she's got a wrinkle. It's disgusting. But we're just like, why is someone 4 years younger than us playing a uni student who's a virgin? Or whatever. Anyway, so he's telling all this to the bartender. The bartender's like, I can't give you any alcohol, right? But he like does anyway. And then it's very much like a play.
Yeah.
They're talking about Casablanca. He speaks to a pianist. He's flirting with this young guy delivering flowers, and he says he's gonna have this big party and everyone's gonna be there and you've got to come and all this stuff. And immediately you're like, that doesn't seem like it's something that's happening.
No.
And then the bartender's like, so what are you? And he describes himself as ambosexual. But on the Wikipedia it says he describes himself as omnisexual. But I think that the key word he uses is actually ambosexual.
I think it's ambisexual. Because it's like, he says it's like ambidextrous.
Yeah, but I think that it's just an accent issue here.
Yeah, I think it's an accent issue, but I think he's trying to say
Ambisexual.
ambisexual.
Because he says that. He says because he'll do it with either hand. He says he'll jack off with either hand.
Yes.
And then the guy is like, what about the ladies though? And he's like, the ladies can do it with either hand as well. So that's his sexuality. And throughout the movie, everybody's like, you're gay, right?
He's very fruity with it. I think we should also say that he's about 5 foot tall and has like a crazy comb over, which is a big look on Ethan Hawke.
And he's 47.
Yes.
But he looks older.
Because he's an alcoholic.
But I don't know how old Ethan Hawke is.
I don't know how old Ethan Hawke is. ChatGPT. How old is Ethan Hawke? I'm going to kill you, Amelia. Oh no. Ah! Oh no, I googled it. He's 55 years old.
Yeah, so he doesn't look 47. And he's not. And then I guess the next sort of like movement of the film is that Rogers shows up with his entourage.
No, I think you forgot the bit where he talks to E.B. White and he's like, hey man, I love your writing.
I just
when you
didn't know.
write Stuart Little, you should call the mouse Stuart.
That happens after.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, I just watched the movie.
Okay.
What happens is that he like sees a guy in the corner and he's like, "Hey, aren't you E.B. White? I love your essays." That's all that happens then. He says the Stuart Little stuff a lot later.
Yeah.
And then, so Rogers, Hammerstein, and the whole entourage show up, and everybody's like, "We love Oklahoma. We got the reviews on the line. We got a telegram. It's a smash hit. It's going to be going on forever, and everybody loves it." And then Hart is like, "Oh, Rogers, like, can we talk?" And he's like, "No." And this is Andrew Scott doing a very weird sort of JFK...
It's an interesting. I kind of liked it.
It's
it was
very
really
stiff.
odd. Yeah.
It's very stiff, and his whole body and face looks like somebody doing an accent.
Well, everybody is acting in this movie like they're on the stage.
Yeah,
It's like written like that as well.
yeah. But I think especially Andrew Scott is like, "Hart, I don't know what to tell you."
Yeah, well, Rogers is like a stuffy guy. You know. That's like the caricature of his personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very, very stiff, and he's like, "We're not doing this again." And then Hart is like, "But I've got this idea. It's about this beautiful woman who's 20 years old, and she's got 2 freckles under her eye. And we're going to write all these songs. It's going to be so great." And then he's like, "I don't actually think you're going to do this because you're just drunk all the time. I've actually got a lot on." And then this guy comes in and he's like, "I'm the mayor of Oklahoma City and I drove in all the way just to see this." And then Hart is like, "Excuse me, we're actually having a conversation." And that's all we see of that character. Yeah, and so I guess that sort of act is just him being rejected.
Yeah.
And then the next thing that sort of happens is that he's talking to Elizabeth, right?
Yeah, he has a long conversation where Elizabeth basically tells him a kind of like story of her losing her virginity. And it's very kind of like, ooh, scandalous. And he's like, "But you love me, right?" And she's like, "Aren't you gay?"
Yeah, she's like talking like she's gossiping to an old queen.
Yes.
She's like, and she doesn't do a caricature of the time.
We're gonna have to talk about her performance later.
Okay. Well, anyway, she's like,
but he's like, "No, you don't get. I'm like a voyeur." That's my thing. My thing is I'm horned up hearing the story. I'm not an old queen. I mean, I am an old queen.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh yeah, like you were real hot, just like me and you in Vermont in August." And she's like, "Not really like that." So I'm in his frat house and he's taking off his clothes and I saw the most beautiful ginkgo tree. It was the most beautiful thing I've seen in my life. I'm making it sound like, these are Japanese linen, but they're not even soft. It's kind of like that, though. Yeah, it's like that. It's like that YouTube video, that clip from... What's it called? The Wonderful Life of Caleb Gallo? Something like that.
Oh,
Vincent
yeah.
Gallo? Oh. It's like that. But it's Margaret Pauley telling Ethan Hawke the story about how she, like, went to hook up with this guy and it didn't work out, and then she did hook up with him, but then he, like, didn't call her afterwards. It's gone on for, like, 20 minutes.
That's most of the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
And
maybe
then-
all we need to say. Like,
Yeah, and then they all sort of go off and leave him.
yeah.
They're all like, "Oh, we've got a party to go to. Goodbye."
Yeah,
And
he
he's
kind
like,
of
"Play
like...
it again, Sam."
Yeah, him and Rogers kind of talk about doing one more show, but it's unclear if it's going to happen, and then...
But we already know that he's going to die because they put it at the beginning.
Yeah.
One thing that I really didn't like...
They
is
do
that
the
this
show,
is
though,
one of-
Rebecca. I got to tell you.
One thing that I really didn't
In
like...
real life.
Yeah, I know, because this is what I'm saying, is that at the end of the film they do those stupid titles.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot about that.
I hate it when films do that. They're like, yeah, and then 6 months later, he was dead. But in the meantime, he wrote 5 songs for what's it called? Connecticut Yankee or something.
Yeah. It's like the Mark Twain musical, yeah.
And I think that it's very apparent, like throughout his conversation with Rogers, that Rogers does not really care about deeply artistic material or anything.
Well, it's interesting because he also doesn't care about deeply artistic material.
Yeah, but I mean,
But he's like a kind of okay, maybe this only makes sense if you know a lot about the biography of F. Scott Fitzgerald. But he's like an F. Scott Fitzgerald type guy, where he's like, you got to make them laugh, and if you make them laugh enough, then that's the deeply artistic material. And Rogers is like, no, I'm going to write my musical about corn, and it's going to run for 100 years. That's what.
I feel like that's not really possible to play.
Which bit?
That dynamic.
No, it's weird.
So I think that's why the film chooses to be like, one of them's like, what about love? What about feeling? What about meaning? And the other one is like, so we're gonna take the story about a circus in Budapest and we're gonna set it in Connecticut.
Fantastic. Wait, no, he says it's gonna be set in Maine.
Sorry, he says it's gonna be set in Maine.
I think it's also worth noting that throughout the movie, every so often it's just like, and this is my friend, Stephen Sondheim.
Yeah, it happens like 3 times.
This is George Roy Hill, future director of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
I think definitely the worst one is the E.B. White one, though. So he meets E.B. White, and then he's like, oh, you're E.B. White. And then later on, he's like, hey, man, what you working on? And he's like, oh, not much, not going very well. I think I'm going to have to write children's literature. And then Hart is like, oh, that's a real shame, man. Hey, had this little rat in my apartment. And then he tells us, like, a really long story about the rat. And then E.B. White is like, what would you have called the rat if he'd actually come back? And he's like, you know what? I would have named him Stuart. And then there's this close-up of E.B. White taking out a notebook and, like, writing it down. It's like you're hammered over the head with it, like, 10 times. But, like, not even, like, Stuart. Like, why couldn't we just go Charlotte's Web or, like, something? I don't know. Like, I felt like it was enough that he recognized that he was E.B. White. And then he's like, and I met a rat, and the rat was my friend. And I wish that I still had that rat today, and the rat's name was Stuart.
I feel like oh no, sad. It would have already been written. I was gonna say you should have been like, you should write a book about grammar, man. You're really like, you speak really well. You should write the best book ever on apostrophes.
I think it would have been enough if he was like, essays, the money's in children's books. Like, something like that would have been like a little bit cringe, a little bit over the top, but acceptable. But they take it like 10 times beyond.
It's, yeah. So, Rebecca, what did you think of Blue Moon overall?
I thought that it was like an interesting movie.
Yeah.
It was an interesting movie, interesting character study for 90 minutes. In the beginning, I was like, oh, this acting is horrible. But then it sort of calms down a bit, I think.
Yeah, I think also it kind of, once everyone's doing it, you're kind of like, oh, okay.
Okay, that's what it is. But I think it was weird that the New Zealand International Film Festival pitched it as like a centerpiece. It was like the opening movie.
Very odd.
Because I felt bad that I'd like missed it. And then when I actually saw the trailer, I was like, this isn't a centerpiece.
No, it's not a centerpiece. I think, yeah, my thoughts on the movie, I thought it was kind of perfectly fine, but I feel like the aesthetic of the film did absolutely nothing for the story. And I think if you're going to make a play for today, do it like that. Like, I don't know, the kind of thing that it is most like as a movie is maybe like My Dinner with Andre or like Play for Today, the like UK things where they would write a play and then film it for TV. And I feel like if they had done something like, oh, it's going to be shot in 16mm, or we're going to do it in like 4x5 like it's on TV, that would have been interesting, and I feel like would have made it more bearable. But as it is, it's like all of the filmmaking of it is very like slick and professional in a way that is like, you can't, it's just a play. There are just people sitting there. I don't want to see a totally like pristine digital shot of this like kind of flatly lit bar for 20 minutes.
The lighting and the sort of digitalization of the whole thing are really bad.
Yeah, it just was like, it was just like, go on, give us nothing. Like,
it was like much less than Maestro.
oh, it was no Maestro.
It was no Maestro, but I mean, like, they just didn't go there. It was just like a film. It was like watching a film of a play.
Yeah, they just didn't go anywhere with it. And I feel like...
They didn't even go outside of the room.
No, which I think... Honestly, I feel like they could have made the exact movie, but if they had, like, done something interesting with the way it was shot, it would have at least been evocative in some way. Like...
Yeah, because it's not very, like, dramatic or anything either. It's not like, Is it The Father, that, like, Oscar winning movie that no one saw except I did? It's not like that kind of, like, oh, it's obviously a play, but, you know, it has this sort of exceptional character work or anything. It's not like that.
No.
So should we talk about Margaret Qualley's acting?
Oh, I think Rebecca, this is the movie where I was like, I think she might be bad.
Well, for starters, she was miscast. She was way too old.
Then maybe that's it. Because I wasn't really thinking about that at the time. Maybe it's that.
And I don't mean that to say that she was haggard or anything like that. But I think that the problem with the characterization was that she was way too confident.
Yeah. She didn't give
she was like,
nervous, just had sex for the first time, giddy teen at a like play opening.
Like, no, she was just like, oh, heart, you know, me and you, old news. I've got a thing going on with a brand new fellow. Like,
yeah, she was just...
And then when she gets invited to Rodgers and Hammerstein's party, she's just like, oh, fantastic. Which is like very much like what a 30-year-old who's trying to like make it in the industry would be like, right?
Yeah.
But she's not like excitable. She's not like, she's not nervous. She's like, what would my mother say? But like, not in a way that it matters. Like,
no. But weirdly, her performance is like really big in a kind of like nondescript. It's like nondescriptly big. Like all of her lines are like, well, why don't you tell me about it then? And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit Mae West. But I thought there was going to be... I thought in the promotional image it was Elle Fanning.
Ah.
Which I think would have been better. Even though I don't think that she's like the ideal choice either.
No, they should have casted like a younger person.
They should have cast a younger person who we probably don't know.
No. I think the thing is, I'm really glad that everyone in movies is suddenly 30 for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, that's
But the
good.
stories should be about people who are 30. You know?
I don't want to see everybody's a teenager and all films are about teenagers.
Yeah, but I feel like we're making all these ingenue stories, but we're casting people who should be in a story about our lives, Rebecca.
But I think that...
They should be doing 3 crosswords and not watching films.
I still don't think that people can conceptualize people in their 30s as doing anything other than getting married and having a baby.
What are you trying to say to me, Rebecca? Are you coming for me?
No, I'm not coming for you. I think that that's where cinema or storytelling or whatever is stuck at the moment.
Yes, no, you're absolutely right.
They're like, what is life about? It's about being a young ingenue and losing your virginity, and then it's about being a parent, and then it's about being an old person and being like, oh, my life was fucked up.
Yeah, they're like, what would be a good role for Margot Robbie? Either she could be a mother who's kind of struggling and maybe her relationship isn't going that well and she's got like a high-pressure job, or she's 18 for some reason.
Yeah. It's like that's sort of the only stuff that people can think of.
Look, maybe the Charlie XCX movie, The Moment, will be a solution to all of this.
Yeah, I think like that's part of the problem as well. It's like there's more to life than being young and like partying and doing drugs and stuff and having a sexual awakening and then being like bogged down by life. It's like, let's just have a movie about people who are like doing a job or something. Why does everybody need to be in crisis?
No one's doing a movie about people doing a job.
Like a sort of Mad Men, 12 Angry Men.
Yeah.
People who work at a newspaper.
Oh, they could make His Girl Friday for the 2020s.
Like, I'm not complaining about like romance or anything, but I just think that. So yeah, it's the same deal with. I mean, I know the pod hates books, but it's the same deal with books too. It's like, what book do you write if you're over 35? And a lot of people are like, it should be a book about how horrible it is to be a mother.
Yeah. Yes. No. Absolutely.
Or you could do a book about how you're not a mother.
No one's writing about having a kind of moderately successful music career that doesn't pay you any money.
No one's writing about their relationship with the Australian tax office.
No one's writing about watching Only Connect in their undies.
Are you wearing clothes right now?
I could be doing whatever I want right now. I can't be watching Only Connect because we're recording the pod, but you know.
Oh my god. I haven't been watching Only Connect, I've been watching Pointless.
Choosing sides. Do you know what this maybe brings us into,
The
Rebecca?
game?
Well, no. Maybe we should talk about how I just watched a film about people in their 30s. Sorry, Baby.
Oh, right.
Just
But
briefly, because we already
last time.
talked about it.
Yeah.
But I watched it. How good?
Yeah, it's really, really good. I told you to like it, and then you did, so it's good.
I really liked it. And my beautiful wife kept looking at me and going, "You okay?" And then going, "Do you like it?
Oh my god.
Do you like the movie? We don't
Are
have
you
to watch the
afraid?
movie." And I was like, "No, I'm really enjoying the movie." And she was like, "Okay," which was very sweet of her.
Yeah, that's nice. I don't think the film is that harrowing, as I said before.
I found it pretty. I found the middle.
You found it harrowing?
I found it pretty grim, but I found it very, very, very relatable. You know, the message that, you know, sometimes you want to talk to somebody about how you feel like morbidly depressed, and you don't want them to go, "That's made me feel really scared."
Okay, so that's how you found it relatable.
That's the big takeaway. That's the big takeaway at the end of the movie.
When Amelia finished watching the film, she was like, "This is exactly my life." And I was like, "Amelia, how is this your life? This is a story about a writer who like lives alone and has to, and their friend is like getting married and having a baby, and they're just hanging out by themselves with their stupid book." I was like, "This doesn't really sound like your life to me."
I felt a spiritual connection to the main character.
Okay, I found it. Obviously I experienced quite a like literal
Yes. Yeah.
parallel, which I didn't find enjoyable.
No.
Especially when everybody was like, "Oh, you're too tall."
That was so when she is in jury duty and they're like, "Is it for the jury duty?" She's like, "How would your friends describe you? You crossed out
Yeah.
smart and you've written tall."
Yeah.
Oh, extremely good. Rebecca, the BAFTAs were this week.
Yeah.
Probably not going to talk about the BAFTAs drama I think enough has been said about that.
Enough has been said. If you don't know, then just look it up. We can't assign you a position on that.
No. One battle after another, one big. 6 BAFTAs.
Did it? I didn't even hear about the results.
Oh, well, I kind of was like, I bet Rebecca doesn't even know what the results are because I also don't. And so I looked them up.
No, I don't think that people were talking about the results, but also my whole Twitter is in Japanese and about figure skating.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, one battle after another got 6. It got best film, best director, and best adapted screenplay, all for Paul Thomas Anderson. And people were annoyed about him because of his speech was bad, but I can't remember.
Whatever.
I can't remember what it is. He said one of those stupid things where it's like, I put my politics in the movie, not in my real life.
Not in my mouth.
Look, people, if you want to see good politics, you need to join an organization that is doing good things in your community. You're not going to see them in an American person who earns millions and millions of dollars. This is my PSA.
No,
this is my PSA on the episode. If you want to,
we said that last time, I think. We said something similar last time.
I'm saying it again. Maybe I'll say it every episode. If you want to see a guy who's like, I think we need to get rid of the police and we need to like end systematic racism, he's probably not going to do it at the BAFTA Awards.
No, and I don't think that we should be getting all our information from people who are like wearing a cap inside their own house talking to their phone either.
No. Absolutely not.
I hate that content, Amelia.
You guys should...
I hate all those videos that are like, Kia ora he te whānau. The New Zealand government today has said, according to the New Zealand Herald, that sort of stuff. It's like, just read the fucking Herald yourself. Make up your own interpretation. You don't need to listen to this woman in her house describing what these like various news articles said. Usually like drastically misquoting them. I hate all the sort of sharing of that stuff.
Yeah, I think reading things is a much more efficient way to get information. And if you want to talk to people, you should talk to people in your real life. I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite here because I've been trying desperately this week to make my Reels algorithm not totally psychotic. But
you gotta watch some of the ones that I sent you.
I watched all of them. I love the Chinese lesbians. Yeah. I love the robot friend. Some of them, Rebecca sent me all these reels to try and, so my Instagram algorithm has decided the only reels it wants to show me are like extremely fucked up people being like, I went viral for my Nikes. They said you can't smoke crack and go viral for your Nikes. Or they're like, this is my song about how people are rude to me. Back off, step down. I don't want to think about in any town.
Amelia sent me all these YouTube shorts and it'll be like a woman who's clearly like had a really hard life being like, I love EDM music.
That's all it wants to show me. That and the South African woman who's like, what if Darth Vader was South African? I'm your father, yeah, and I don't want to hear any more about it.
That's just your wife.
But so Rebecca sent me all of these reels, and some of them were just not in English. And were
but you can just get what they mean.
Some of them I could get what they mean. The one that was Pharmacie du Jazz, I really liked. But there was
Pharmacie du Jazz is amazing.
There were a couple where I was like, I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I can like vibe quite easily what's happening without knowing all the words.
Yeah, but you speak like 7 languages or something.
Yeah, I know. I actually didn't even send you my favorite one because I was like, oh, she's not going to understand it because it's too much in Spanish. But the one that I sent you, one of them I was supposed to explain, but I was too busy doing 3 crosswords. She's explaining how to speak Basque.
Oh, cool.
The one where she's like yelling. That's just about the Basque language.
Okay, I liked the one with the yelling.
And I love the Chinese one with the robot.
I was like pissing myself to that one.
But yeah, Amelia didn't react or reply to the 23 rules that I said. So I was like, oh, okay.
Me and Maddie watched that one like 3 times.
I've seen it so many times. We've got to, I don't know, we've got to link it somehow.
We'll
Post it on we post on the story.
It. Yeah. Okay, Sinners got 3 BAFTAs, including Best Original Screenplay, which is a big one. Hamnet got Outstanding British Film, so I guess not a lot happening in Britain this year. Frankenstein.
It wasn't an achievement, though. I accept it as an achievement.
Frankenstein got costume, makeup, and production design, which I strongly disagree with. I've got to say, I think they were high effort, all of those things, but I think they were like tremendously ugly.
Okay, little payoff.
Oh, and then there's some others, you know. Jessie Buckley got Best Actress for Hamnet. Claire Binns got the Outstanding British Contribution to Cinema Award.
Okay. I have to hurry up a little bit because it's nearly 8 o'clock. I haven't had my dinner, which is coming.
Oh, shit, Rebecca. Okay, sorry. We
I'm thinking about Pharmacie de Jazz.
We might
Pharmacie de Jazz.
we might not. Welcome to Reels Bing Bong, the only podcast dedicated to talking about the best, the newest, the most brilliant reels on Instagram. Today we're talking about Chinese robot friend.
Oh my god, yeah. So I feel like, you know, in the past I've been accused of being a bit global village with my writing. But when you see what my reels are like...
Yeah, Rebecca was like, "Oh, here's my favorite reels of all time. Like 5 of them are in Chinese. Some of them with no subtitles.
One of them was American.
I think there were like 3 that were in English.
Not everything is interesting that happens is in English.
I really like the home decorator one.
That's in New Zealand English.
Yeah, the Maori guy being like, "Oh, yeah, we need another Bob Marley flag over here." Yeah,
it's called the Hori Decorator.
It's very good.
And he's like, "Yeah, we need a couple of rows of shoes in here. It doesn't matter if they fit or not." And then he goes into the laundry and he's like, "Oh, where's the bucket?" What were we saying? I don't know.
Okay,
Pharmacie de Jazz.
I saw Secret Agent.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Rebecca, Secret Agent is a film written and directed by Kleber Mendoza Filho. How's that?
I'll look it up. The Secret Agent.
The Secret Agent. It's set in Brazil in the 1970s during the Brazilian military dictatorship, and it's about a guy who was a...
Oh, I think that I'm not sure, but I think that when it says Kleber Mendoza Filho, that Filho means junior.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
But Kleber is like a really weird name because in German it means sticker.
That's sick.
Oh, he made Aquarius?
He's famous in Brazil.
Okay, he's famous. He's famous. I know who he is.
Yeah.
I know these films.
Yeah, so it's about
I haven't thought about it.
It's about a guy who was a professor at a university. He was doing this cool science research, and now he's like on the run because the government wants to get him. And he is played by Wagner Moura, who is incredibly beautiful and cool. And he's just like living his life. And I think the thing that I want to say about this movie is that the less you know about it going into it, the better. So
so that's probably going to be it then.
If you want to take Amelia's advice, don't listen to anything else that I say. Actually, Rebecca, do you want to not listen to anything else I say?
No, I don't want to listen.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to come back to this. I think that could be a good thing to come back to next month, because next month I will be in Japan.
Okay, cool. Well, I will say...
I think that I can... I haven't bought the ticket back yet, but I think that if I am going to be in Japan, that I can just take this microphone.
Oh, cool.
Because I am going to write the end of my book.
Very
slash
exciting.
The second half of my book
It'll be great. I believe in
in
you.
2 months' time. So I'm going to Japan by myself for financial reasons.
I will say I really enjoyed the film, but it's a thinker.
Okay.
And it's kind of astonishing to me that it was nominated for Academy Awards because
they don't usually go for that sort of stuff, or because it's not that good?
Because it's like a kind of like
Hectic.
meta-conceptual art film about
Okay. So it's
about
like Birdman.
Brazilian government repression. It's weirder than Birdman, I think. It's weirder than Birdman, but it's also Look, I think, and I'm being very opaque here, not to reveal anything, but I think people who have seen the film will know what I mean. It does have most of an action thriller in it. So
Okay.
I guess they were like, well, yeah, that bit rules. And I'm not sure how they would have taken the other aspect of the film. So
I would have liked to have seen it in the cinema.
Me too.
When we were talking about it yesterday, I was like, oh, maybe I could figure out a way to see it today. And then it was on in 15 minutes and that was it. And it wasn't on today at all.
Oh my God.
So that didn't happen.
Well, the last thing that I want to talk about today, Rebecca, is the new Jane Schoenbrunn movie. That's the writer-director of I Saw the TV Glow. Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma.
Rise, little death. Rise. There is a hole at the bottom of the lake where the movies come from. He always comes back.
What?
I'm more excited for this movie than I think any movie ever that I've ever.
Yeah, because now you're a huge Eva Victor stan.
Because I'm a huge Eva Victor
Since
fan.
you saw Sorry Baby.
Rebecca,
I feel like it's
have you
kind of
seen?
sad.
I need to interrupt you to say, have you seen what Eva Victor looks like in this movie?
No.
I'm going to send you a picture.
I was gonna say something that might end up being like a little bit meta. I think it's sad that sort of people are just like so bad at describing films that when you hear descriptions of films, you never know if you want to watch them or not.
Yeah, I think people often also have an agenda when they're describing a film, which is interesting.
Well, I mean, like with Sorry Baby, they're like, oh yeah, it's a really sad film about sexual assault. That's kind of it or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, Amelia's sending me a picture. And then you're like, okay, well, that's not something I want to see, so I won't see it. But they're not like, oh, it's this like amazing, tall, non-binary actor. And it's the woman from Mickey 17. Oh my God.
So Rebecca has now seen this image of Eva Victor from the trailer for Camp Miasma with like a kind of a 1.5 foot tall mohawk.
Yeah.
A leather jacket and a kind of a red netted top with just like black electrical tape over the nipples. And that's Eva Victor's character in this movie. Rebecca, how sick? How sick
the
is
mohawk,
this?
the foot-high mohawk is like very 90s. Very 80s, 90s sort of like cartoon character that we had in those times that we don't have now. Now when people are like, oh, it's a goth, they're thinking like now when people are like, it's a goth, they're not even thinking of an emo, they're thinking of a scene kid.
Or sometimes just a normal person who wears black, but like slightly drapey.
Yeah. That happened to me at high school. This girl was like, why are you emo? And I was like, I'm not. And then she was like, then why is your hair black? Because I'm ethnic.
That happened to me, and then someone came in and was like, actually, it's called indie, and my older sister is one too. And I was like, yes, sick. Hell yeah, thank you for recognizing my Belle and Sebastian t-shirt.
Oh my God.
But yeah, Sex and Death at
Yes.
Teenage
Camp
Sex and
Miasma.
Death at Camp Miasma. It seems extremely mean. It stars Hannah Einbinder and Gillian Anderson.
Amazing.
And it's about Hannah Einbinder making like a new installment in like a long-running slasher franchise, but then some kind of like fucked up thing happens because it's a Jane Schoenbrunn movie. They are the best. In the trailer that just got released like yesterday, I think, Gillian Anderson is like, "There's a hole at the bottom of the lake where the movies come from."
Yes, that's very exciting. And it's like, and it's obviously it's going to be enough of a deal that it will be distributed and people will watch it, people will talk about it and stuff.
Yeah, it looks like it already has distribution plans for New Zealand, according to the Wikipedia page.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
That's crazy. And when is that?
It's going to come. It doesn't say what date it will come out there. It just says it's scheduled for United States release on August 7th, and Mubi has plans to distribute it across all of these places, including New Zealand.
Well, that's very good news for us. And Amelia, maybe? Australia?
Produced by Brad Pitt. Okay.
Is he trying to get his kids to like him again?
I don't know. It's working. Oh, it's also got Zach Cherry in it from Severance.
Ah, from Severance.
And it's got...
That's good.
Oh my God, what's their name? Jack Haven, who was one of the leads in I Saw the TV Glow.
Oh, okay.
But has a new name since then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you noticed people have started saying that various people saw the TV glowing a bit?
Yeah, but I don't know what they mean by it yet. I've only seen 2 people say it. And both of them were obviously referencing something, but they were talking about Camp Miasma. And so I was like, what is the... Where is this coming
I've seen
from?
people say it in other contexts.
Transsexual?
Yeah, I've seen people say like, oh, they watched an old interview with a celebrity and you could tell that she saw the TV glowing a bit.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's so good. Oh, I love movies. Rebecca, I love movies.
Yeah.
How good are movies?
Yeah, they're really good. Unless they're not.
No, fuck Wuthering Heights.
But still, the whole thing is on the whole good.
Movies?
It does like a little bit
Yeah.
feel like one of those things that could just go away.
Well, they've been quite bad recently.
But I mean, it feels like, like stuff that has gone away in the past 30 years.
Absolutely. Well, can I
It
say...
feels like movies could have been one of them, but it's not.
Thank God for that. I will say that at the moment, and this is like a very sweeping generalization, but it feels like people are kind of learning how to make original films again.
Now they just need to make films about people in their 30s.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, like, when I say they're learning to, I mean, like, it feels... Watching a lot of the big movies that are coming out at the moment, they all feel a bit like they're on Struggle Street. They're like...
I just feel like the dawning of a new age.
Yeah.
We're in the dark years.
Yeah, the old world is dying and the new world is struggling to be reborn.
What's that from?
It's a Zizek kind of misquote of Gramsci, I think. Now is the time of monsters.
I thought it was from something even worse. Oh my god.
Can't get that much worse than Zizek. I've started talking even more weird than normal, and I don't know what to do about it. Like when I see like...
you used to talk much more weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I feel like I keep saying like Rebecca and things.
You used to like only talk like that.
Oh. Well, go me.
And you used to like be stimming heaps and stuff.
I'm doing it. It's just off screen.
You used to be like drumming on everything and like just saying the same word over and over again. And then just having no idea what anyone was saying to you.
When I was 10, I got really... on What Now, they had a parody of Don King, boxing promoter.
Yes. I'm Don King and you're not.
Yeah, and weirdly, I don't know if he ever said this in the sketches, but I started saying "I'm on fire" in a southern accent, and I said that over and over again for like 2 years. I can't believe my parents didn't put me in a creek or something.
Well,
I'm
your mum
on
said it
fire.
wouldn't have helped you. Your mum said she knew, but it wouldn't have helped.
I'm on fire, Rebecca. I'm on fire.
Yeah, that's kind of what you were like when I met you.
That can be the name of this episode. I'm on fire. Okay.
Everyone will think we've seen a bloody Bruce Springsteen there was a Bruce Springsteen documentary. Nobody watched it, eh?
Nope. It was not a documentary. It was
film.
biopic. Yeah,
With that guy who's like really short.
Jeremy Allen White. Yeah.
Oh, I think he is. He should be on my list.
Generation Cool Guy.
I can't remember which one he is. He's definitely the same age as us though. He's Generation Cool Guy.
Have you explained this to the pod?
We can explain it again anyway. Is that
They can figure it out.
I can just say one sentence.
Okay.
Amelia doesn't believe in generations as they stand in popular culture. She believes in her own generations, which says that the first half of 1991 is Generation Cool Guy and the second half is Generation Loser. And the second half of 1993 is Generation Wife. Those are Amelia's generations, and ever since then, I've just been keeping track of like who's Generation Cool Guy and who's Generation Loser, because I think that I'm quite good at telling what age people are, especially being able to tell if people are older than or younger than me. So often when I think I can't tell if this person's older or younger than me, it happened like 10 times last year. I looked up and they were within like 2 months of the same age as me.
Do you want to say what generations we are, Rebecca?
Oh, obviously Amelia designed herself as Generation Cool Guy and me as Generation Loser.
It's a shame how things happen, but that's the zodiac,
I think there was someone recently where you were like annoyed that they were Generation Cool Guy.
Rebecca, do you have time to play any of this game?
I don't.
Okay. We'll save it for next time. All right.
It was Ed Sheeran. Amelia was unhappy that Ed Sheeran was Generation Cool Guy.
All right, you have been listening to Cinema Bing Bong, the coolest of the cool guy podcasts about movies. We don't pay to advertise, obviously. So if you wanted to tell your friends about this podcast or do a post about it on social media or just give us a review and a star rating on your podcast app, that would be really good. You can find us on Instagram at Cinema Bing Bong. I'm Amelia and this is Rebecca. Rebecca? Are you ready for the final question? Oh my God.
Yeah, okay, I was going to say pharmacy to jazz. Hang on, I got to let Maggie out.
All right.
Final question.
You get a phone call from super producer Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt says, all right, after I'm finished work on superstar writer-director Jane Schoenbrun's new movie, Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma, I want to make a movie with you as the writer-director.
What does that mean, Brad Pitt?
And I want you to adapt an existing story, either from a book or film. However, I need you to turn it into history's greatest love story, like Wuthering Heights has become now.
Okay.
So, Rebecca, what story are you choosing to ignore absolutely what actually happens in it and make it into history's greatest love story? It's gonna go from 12 Angry Men to Romeo and Juliet. It's gonna be like 12 Angry Men, but 2 of the angry men do a kind of heated rivalry.
And it's got to be a book.
It could be a movie.
My first thought,
Yeah.
holes.
Holes works. I think
It's
Holes would be
already a movie.
easy to do. I think if you turned it into an erotic romance, though, you could not call it Holes.
Yes, it's going to be holes. And it's going to have that. It's going to be really heavily based on the lizard that's on the cover of it.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be sort of like the girl with the dragon tattoo. It's gonna be. It's not gonna have teenagers in it.
Okay.
And what will you answer?
Wait, so they're all going to be 35, but they're at a camp digging holes?
Well,
And then they have
their
their lizard-based sexual awakening.
there's gonna be very little to do with the plot of the novel Holes.
Oh, I want a little bit. I need like
It's gonna be a little
throw
bit.
me a bone.
I think it's gonna be like erotic hole digging.
Okay, all right.
Maybe they have machinery though. They're not imprisoned. They're just like digging holes erotically.
I feel like Holes was the. I think I can't beat Holes.
Good. Okay, that's it.
All right.